Good day, welcome to Mathematics 7. Today we're going to discuss about square roots. I have here a number, and that is what we call a radical expression. Every radical expression has three parts. This small number outside this symbol is what we call the index. And this symbol is what we call the radical symbol. And those numbers inside that radical symbols are what we call the radicand. Now, the index of a radical is a whole number, greater than or equal to 2. The index of square root is always 2, so that is the smallest number. The square root of 49 could be written as this one, but it is normally written as like this, square root of 49. So as you can see, 2 is invisible. So in writing square root, the small number 2 is always invisible. Only that number 2. If a number can be written as a product of two equal factors, either of the factor is called square root, and that is our definition. So if we're going to think of a number and you can get the product of two equal factors, two same numbers, two same sign, those factors are what we call the square roots. Example, square root of 49 is equal to 7. Because if we're going to multiply 7 times 7, that is equal to 49. Also, if we're going to get the square root of 49, that is also equal to negative 7. Why? Because negative 7 times negative 7 is also equal to positive 49. So remember, in multiplying integers, if you're going to multiply two same sign, the sign is always positive. So in this case, we have two positive signs. That's why our answer is positive 49. Same with negative 7. So we have two negative signs. That's why the sign of our product is also positive. And this 7, this positive number or this positive root is what we call the principal square root. So again, in taking the square root of a number, we have two answers. It's either positive or negative. But if we're going to talk about the positive numbers or positive roots, that is what we call the principal square root. So what is the square root of 36? That is now equal to positive 6 or negative 6. So we can write this positive or negative 6. These numbers are called perfect squares. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, and 100. Why are those numbers called perfect squares? Because if we're going to think of a number that if we're going to multiply to itself, those numbers or those answers will be equal to one of these numbers. Like for example, for 100, if we're going to take the square root of this one, we have 10. Because if we're going to multiply 10 times 10, we have 100. Same with 81. We have 9 times 9 for 64. 8 times 8 for 49. We have 7 times 7. For 36, we have 6 times 6. For 25, we have 5 times 5. Same with 16, 4 times 4, 3 times 3, 2 times 2, and then 1 times 1. So, those are the reasons why it is called a perfect square. Those numbers are what we call, again, a perfect squares. Now, if a number is a perfect square, then the principal root is rational. But if the number is not a perfect square, then the principal root is irrational. So we have two types of principal root or square root, if it is rational or irrational. Now, describe the principal root and determine whether they are rational or irrational. First, I have here number 1, square root of 16. That is rational. The principal root is 4. For square root of 24, this is irrational because we have a decimal part. So 4.9, we have a decimal number. Next is for square root of 1, we have rational because we have 1 times 1 and 1 is our principal root. Square root of 64 is also rational because we have 8 as our principal root. And for square root of 32, we have irrational because we will have a decimal number, so 5.7. So I just rounded off to the nearest tenth for the decimal numbers, so 4.9 and then 5.7.